Good morning.
Good morning.
Beautiful day. Please introduce yourself and tell us why you're here.
My name is Emmanuelle Robert. I represent UNESCO in this meeting, and UNESCO acts as a knowledge partner to the South African presidency of this working group.
I'm so excited to be standing next to somebody from UNESCO because they play a big role in the cultural and creative industries. And I'm curious to know why this particular time are you here, because we've read about the sectors that you guys have created and they keep on changing. And please just tell us why you're here at the G20 Culture Group working meeting.
So UNESCO is acting as a knowledge partner of each successive presidency of the G20 Culture Working Group as the UN specialized agency with a mandate on culture. And we have been supporting all successive presidencies up until this year. And this year, under South Africa's presidency, it was the request from the Ministry of Culture to work closely with UNESCO, supporting as a knowledge partner under this work stream.
You know, you guys are forever working, and we hear about sectors, and sometimes we do get confused. How many sectors does UNESCO really recognize?
When you say sectors, do you mean sectors with
Cultural and creative industry sectors.
I don't think that we actually count the sectors. When we speak about culture, we have a comprehensive approach to culture. We speak about the cultural and creative industries, which do have a number of subsectors.
Those are the ones I'm talking about.
Including music, audiovisual, fashion. So there are a number of subsectors which are listed if you look at the 2005 convention, UNESCO 2005 convention. These address the different subsectors that the convention covers. But then the cultural industries and the creative economy as a whole is very broad and has a number of subsectors.
And the main priorities for this meeting are four, isn't it?
The main priority for this meeting is to bring together the countries and organizations who are members of the Culture Working Group to start discussing the draft declaration, so the outcome of this meeting that the South African presidency has prepared. So it's the beginning of a negotiation process that will continue up until the meeting of Ministers of Culture planned in October.
How much influence does UNESCO have in this kind of meetings?
Our role is mainly to support the presidency. So we are here to help consensus building, provide advice when needed, provide, for example, consensual language, or also discuss with members to find agreements should specific divisions arise. So we're really here to support the preparation of the documents as needed and the building of the consensus.
And the minister spoke about the importance of cultural heritage preservation. And what's your view about that?
Well, of course, the preservation of cultural heritage is critical to prepare for the future of countries and the transmission of the memory to the future generations. And this is the core mandate of UNESCO in the field of culture, and also the core purpose of UNESCO's conventions, such as the World Heritage Conventions or the Conventions for the Safeguarding of Living Heritage, which do focus on the safeguarding of cultural heritage for future generations.
How long does it take you for UNESCO to look at the existing sectors and keep on changing? Do you do it yearly, once in 5 years, or, at which intervals?
I'm not sure I get your question correctly.
Like the sectors that are already existing, right?
Yes.
They are there, but you keep on revamping them and changing. At what point do you change and add other sectors or come up with new ideas?
Oh, this is, for the time being, the definition of the cultural and creative industries from UNESCO's perspective relies on the text of the 2005 conventions. They're not regularly updated, but they're quite broad in the scope. And then it's also for the countries who are members of these conventions, who ratified this convention, to also frame the creative industry as they define it and identify the critical subsectors that need to be supported. So I think it's not for UNESCO to formally
Impose?
list and impose upon countries, and it is also something that is shaped and framed by the countries at the national level.
Okay, so you guys just give us a guiding document and it's up to each and every country to fine-tune it.
Absolutely, and the purpose of the UNESCO conventions is to provide guidance and norms at the international levels, and to support the development of policy mechanisms, of legislation that provide an enabling environment for culture to flourish and for the cultural ecosystems to thrive.
How important is policy and legislation in terms of the cultural and creative industries?
It's actually critical. I think the public institutions need to provide an enabling environment and to develop adapted policy mechanism in a specific environment which changes very quickly. And also this should encompass a closed conversation with civil society organizations which are key in this sector, and which should also engage in policy making, in the definition and implementation of cultural policies.
What advice would you give to governments out there?
I would advise to engage in the ratification and implementation of the 2005 Convention and other UNESCO conventions. South Africa is already fully committed in ratifying these normative instruments, and to support the exchange of good practices and knowledge as is happening today within this type of fora with other countries around the world. To develop a solid policy mechanism to support a resilient cultural sector moving forward in the future.
Thank you. I hope to see you soon. But the last question, you talking about 2005, and somebody might say, but it's 20 years ago. So what's happening with 2025?
The 2005, when we say 2005, it's the time when this convention was developed. But then across years, specific tools were developed to adapt to a changing environment. For example, in relation to the digital environment, in relation to AI, there has been specific policy guidance tools that have been provided to the countries to develop their policies. So 2005 is the birth of this convention, and if you look at other conventions, for example, World Heritage, that was in 1972, so that's even further away. But then as we move along, countries with support from UNESCO develop specific instruments to adapt to a changing world.
Yeah, I said it's the last one. Now this one is the last one. The influence of AI, what's your feeling about it as UNESCO?
AI has a critical transformative impact on the sector as a whole, both in the cultural and creative industries and in the culture and the field of cultural heritage. It brings about opportunities, but it also brings a number of concerns, notably in terms of being able to protect the diversity of culture online, and also ensuring that all cultural professionals can make a living. And so UNESCO is supporting the development of frameworks to support countries in addressing these issues in a balanced way.
One last one.
Oh.
Free use or fair use?
That one is a tricky one. This is the balance to be stricken between allowing the protection of intellectual property, but also enabling open access for everybody to be able to enjoy and access culture. So this is a fine balance to be found, and it's also UNESCO's role to advise countries in the way to develop adapted policy mechanism to strike
What's your advice?
Balance.
You're UNESCO.
That was my advice.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.